High Street in Guildford now. And making their way up to the saluting dais. Maurizio, what are your thoughts seeing this? Very smart as ever. Royal Marines proudly leading the way here.
Well, as an Army guy, I don't like to see the Marines going first, but...
And the red arrows flying over right on schedule, looking absolutely fantastic. Sorry to interrupt you there, but we've got to...
I don't know whether he was, may have done something, but yeah, standing there, looking very smart in his uniform. I mean, I don't know how he manages it with his all his ceremonial roles. His wardrobe must be creaking under the strain of all of it.
Only the one wardrobe. There might be more. But yes, we're looking at pictures now of some of the cadets taking part in this Armed Forces Day parade. And the combined cadet band of 135 Red Hill and Reigate Squadron Air Training Corps, I should say, are the music for the cadets. And they won the procession section of the National Air Training Corps Band Competition 2015. But the cadets, we've got Air Training Corps, we've got Navy cadets, Sea cadets, I should say, and Army cadets. And they're all drawn from the local area, as we see pictures of some of those people walking through. Very proud day for everybody involved, parents and the like, and they themselves getting a real taste of what it's like to be done there.
Oh yeah, very much the sort of breeding ground for the future leaders, and I myself was one. Yeah, really, and just really good and healthy to get out and be out in the country, particularly when sport and such is often not taken as seriously at school. Just another avenue for physical exertion and to test yourself. And so it's good to see them out and actually mix.
Yes, a real boon for members of those cadet forces that we can see parading along, because yeah, it gives them a great sense. And this part of the country is very strong on its cadet forces, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because we've got so many armed units around here that they get the support that some others don't. And also with all the training grounds, the access and the ability to go on exercise and actually get a taste of what life is like is much more prevalent here than in other places.
Did becoming a cadet shape your future career? Highness. You're watching Forces TV Live. We're in Guildford at the national celebration for our armed forces. It's Armed Forces Day 2015, and this is Tim Cooper doing my best to commentate on the event.
In London, there's just so much going on that it doesn't really penetrate the public consciousness enough, but it didn't seem to blip up on my radar as much as it had done a couple of years ago. But then that might be work, and the fact that I'm not immersed in it now. So, but yeah, you definitely see. I mean, you see it on your screen there, the support going on there. And again, I'm almost a bit disappointed I haven't seen anyone losing step, because it means that the applause is not as loud as it could be, I reckon. But then I'm not there, so I don't know.
Pipes and drums of the Irish Guards, part of the band of the Irish Guards.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the white helmets earlier, Craftsman Fraser, and he says that over half of them who will be doing this display team don't actually have a motorbike licence, and they actually prefer it if people don't have a motorbike licence when they apply.
I suppose the thinking is they can train them exactly in their own way, but I suppose there comes a difficulty later in life if they want to then ride a motorcycle on the road, because they can't do that in display.
Well, yeah, as I understand it, there are some of them actually don't like riding motorcycles outside of this, because they only like the display side of it.
And now into the arena, it's the combined cadet band of 135 Red Hill and Reigate Squadron Air Training Corps. A high-achieving cadet band. They won the percussion section in the National Air Training Corps Band Competition 2015. What a day for them.
No, nothing like this, and it would have been incredible to be able to actually do it. And I think for today, actually, for these guys, the real value will be able to mix with the regular and reserve forces. And if they have that desire to go on and make this a career, is to actually talk to them and get a real insight in a relaxed environment about.
You could say that I couldn't possibly comment. But yes, the cadet contingent coming in, and it's always important at Armed Forces Day to represent the cadets, the future generations, not just for the country, but potentially for our armed services. So again, they march in service order: Royal Navy, Army and Air Force, the Sea Cadets, the Army Cadets and the Air Training Corps. A spectacular sight, and I must be hugely proud for their families today for them to have been a part of Armed Forces Day. They're all from the Surrey area. It's their home patch for Armed Forces Day 2015. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we often have a drumhead service taking place at this point, but we don't have that this year. There was a cathedral service earlier at Guildford Cathedral, and today a simple welcoming ceremony of which this is a part. The parade finishing off in the square so everyone can see them, a brief welcome followed by the national anthem, and then the duty is done for the day in terms of the marching, and it's their opportunity to meet members of the public and perform that duty as well. The PR element, if you like, but it's much more than that, because so many people don't know anything about the armed forces. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's simply that they don't know anybody who's in our armed forces, and they don't have the benefit of talking to people who are on any sort of frequent basis. So for that reason, today does offer an awful lot.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch you there, Tim, because the PA blaring, but you can just see them making their way towards the colour sergeants who are marking out the parade square for these guys. The red sash marking them out there in the field. And back in the day, I'm told it was used to mark for them in battle how many men they'd lost. They'd pick off a bit of the sash for every man lost. But them just standing there, smart as carrots, just letting the rest of the parade know where to head.
Just coming into the arena now, we have the contingent of veterans, and that will conclude this parade today. They're led by the pipes and drums in those veterans, standard bearers at the fore. And, well, I'd just like some conclusionary thoughts from you, if you would, Maurizio. Just your take on Armed Forces Day, what we've seen today, and where we go from here for our armed forces.
You know, not see the relevance as much, but it's just keeping that going. You know, keeping it. You know, keeping the pride and the memory of what's been achieved over the past 10, 15 years, particularly, alive. And for those guys who've been affected, to know that their sacrifice and the effect on its life has not been forgotten by the nation, really.
It's important to note as well, I think, that while we're here celebrating this on the national footing, this is the national celebrations, there are events taking place across the UK, and I think